Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4, the final part of the series. Today we're going to be talking about indoor air quality and certain products and the benefits they bring to your home. The first one I'd like to talk about today is the HRV, and also known as the ERV. What is it? What does it stand for? It's the heat recovery ventilator. Everyone has one in their home. They're an air exchanger. We also have what are called ERVs, so energy recovery ventilator. They both serve the same purpose, but one is more efficient than the other. So allow me to explain how these work. So if I have my HRV in my basement, I'm going to have 4 ports on it. So I'm going to have, let's say, fresh air from outside, and then I'm going to have stale air to outside. And then this is going to be fresh air to building, and this will be exhaust from building. So inside of this HRV, I have a core. So I've got my core, and how it works is I have fresh air from outside is directly ducted to my outside. So either in a 5 or a 6-inch pipe, and this comes in like this. And believe it or not, I've seen some of the old oil furnaces in the city that actually had a 6-inch pipe that goes directly into the return air. Because oil furnaces burn so hot, it didn't actually make a difference in the load of the house. So the fresh air, that minus 30 coming in, didn't even affect the temperature in the house because the oil furnaces burn so hot. So as my fresh air comes in, it goes into this core and it mixes, and then it's going to send fresh air to the building. So our air coming in is, say, minus 25, and then our exhaust air from the building, or stale air from the building, whatever you want to call it, it's coming in this way, and it's actually going through the core like this as well. And then it's going to be sent directly outside with another 6-inch pipe. So where these become efficient is, instead of me having a 6-inch pipe bringing negative 25-degree air into my return air, we're actually mixing the warm air with the cold air. So by the time it's brought into the building, it's actually warm enough so it doesn't make an impact on the heating system. So obviously when we go back to episode 1 with our load calculation, that is a consideration that is taken. What size of HRV, how big of an HRV, what's the ventilation in the house. It's also could be considered on the air conditioning load itself. So this is where ERVs and HRVs differ. My HRV, which is my heat recovery ventilator, it is simply just used for the wintertime. It actually will add an extra load to your air conditioner, so you're more than welcome to run it, and I would say a lot of places are probably sized to run it 24/7 because their houses are built so tight that it's going to add that plus 30-degree air directly to the load of your air conditioner that also have to pull the heat out of. When we get into ERVs, the benefit there is that it actually helps remove some of that humidity from the air coming in, so it's not as much of an impact on your air conditioner system. So if you're looking for something, maybe you're not someone who opens their windows, you have a lot of allergies, and you want a way of transferring air in your house, fresh air, ERV is probably your better bet, whereas HRV is mostly used for the winter. At my house, we typically have our windows open almost all summer because we like the fresh air. But if you also like the fresh air but have allergies because pollen kills you, would highly recommend going with the ERV. It's much better. And it also has more benefits than just that. Because it's exchanging your air typically every 24 hours, it also helps lower VOCs in your house, contaminants, like all your cooking, you're not always breathing that in. My neighbor, he has it reading that when his HRV went down, his radon levels went up, and then when he got his new HRV installed, his radon levels went down. So pretty interesting there, which is a new fact that I learned. So HRVs are super crucial to your indoor air quality, simply because we're removing all the stale air from your house and replacing it with fresh air every 24 hours, okay? Another piece of indoor air quality that we can talk about is humidification. So your humidifier. You've got 2 types of humidification. You've either got your flow-through humidifier, which is your pretty common one, and essentially all it is a little box here, and it's got a little water line on the top, and it has a pad inside of it, and that pad creates, or I should probably use blue here, that pad gets wet with moisture, and as the hot air from my furnace goes through it, right here, so my hot air is blowing across this pad. That's what's creating humidity. A flow-through humidifier, really good if you have a gas furnace. The downfall is if you're starting to move to full electric or heat pump, they actually don't generate enough heat off the coil to create enough humidity through these pads. You need a certain amount of temperature, which is typically about 120 to 130 to start generating humidity through these flow-through humidifiers. So that's when you'd have to look into what's called a steam humidifier. So obviously much more expensive, but the steam humidifier generates its own humidity and can actually control when the fan comes on and off based on the humidity required in your house. So your flow-through humidifier, basic, it's great, but if you have a larger home, or you have very expensive wood flooring, instruments, stuff like that, I would highly recommend looking into a steam humidifier. Yes, it's more costly, but I'm sure your floors and your instruments cost much more than this. So, that's a really good thing to look into. And it also has other benefits such as comfort level. So when you have higher humidity in your house, it doesn't feel as cold. So, 18 degrees could feel like 19 or 20. It also helps with dry skin and all that other good stuff. So that's my talk on flow-through and steam humidifiers. If we jump into a few other add-ons that you can look at, I myself personally haven't really used them or don't use them, but there is also UV filtration. There is full-on dehumidifiers, so dehumidifiers which can be ducted. I have seen these used in a few applications, especially when the basement is very damp, depending on where the house was built. Maybe that basement is always super, super high humidity. It's always wet, it's always moist. Maybe a whole home or a full basement ducted dehumidifier would be better than the portable dehumidifiers. And you can also look into extra filtration systems. So with a HEPA filter attached to your ductwork, which would just help with dust and pollen and all the small stuff going through your ductwork. And you also can look at increasing your filter size. But again, when you're increasing your filter size, if we go back to episode 3 with the ductwork, having a stronger filter or a thicker filter with a higher MERV rating can impact the efficiency of the way your blower works on your furnace, which can create noise levels, create restrictions in the ductwork. So it's always good to ask a professional to make sure that that filter is right for your system. That's my spiel on indoor air quality. Thank you for watching episode 4. I hope you enjoyed it, and episodes 1, 2, and 3 prior. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you soon.